For most of human history, wolves weren't just mysterious animals roaming the wilderness. They were one of humanity's most dangerous predators. Picture yourself living around 30,000 years ago, hearing distant howls echo through the darkness after sunset. Back then, that sound wasn't exciting or beautiful. It meant a powerful hunter with massive jaws, incredible endurance, and night vision far superior to yours had probably already picked up your scent. Wolves hunted as highly organized packs, moved with remarkable speed, and could track the smell of blood from astonishing distances. Yet out of every creature that shared the earth with our ancestors, it wasn't the horse, the cow, or even the chimpanzee, our closest genetic relative, that became humanity's greatest companion. It was the wolf, the very predator that once circled human camps under the cover of darkness, eventually became the ancestor of every dog we know today. Now there are more than 900 million dogs living around the world. They sleep beside us, locate explosives, rescue people trapped beneath snow, guide the visually impaired, comfort children with autism, and sometimes even sit patiently wearing birthday hats for family photos. What's remarkable is that none of this happened because humans carefully planned it. No ancient tribe ever gathered together with the goal of creating a friendly animal to live alongside them. Instead, dogs appeared through an unexpected chain of events that unfolded naturally over thousands of years. Even more fascinating, the first step may have been taken by wolves themselves long before humans understood what was happening. To understand this incredible transformation, we need to travel back to the Ice Age, roughly 20,000 to 40,000 years ago. People survived in small groups of around 20 to 50 individuals without permanent settlements, constantly moving in search of food and safety. Successful hunts were never guaranteed. Brutal winters regularly claimed lives, and something as simple as a broken ankle could easily become a death sentence. Meanwhile, just beyond the glow of every campfire, wolves waited patiently in the darkness. One small detail changed everything. Even during periods of extreme scarcity, humans rarely consumed every part of an animal they hunted. Bones, scraps of meat, skin, and leftover carcasses were often left behind around temporary camps. For nearby wolves, those remains represented an easy source of calories that required almost no effort to obtain. At first, only the boldest wolves dared to approach, but many of them got too close and were quickly killed with spears. The most fearful wolves stayed far away, avoiding humans completely and missing every opportunity to feed. But a small number fell somewhere in between. These wolves weren't overly aggressive, yet they weren't terrified of people either. They stayed just close enough to benefit from abandoned food, while keeping a safe distance from danger. Because they had more reliable access to food, they survived longer and produced more offspring. Over many generations, those calmer wolves slowly became more common than the aggressive ones. Modern genetic research suggests that some wolves were naturally born with a lower stress response around humans. This wasn't the result of training or taming. It was simply a biological variation that already existed within wild wolf populations. Without anyone intentionally controlling the process, evolution quietly began favoring wolves with calmer temperaments. Scientists have actually recreated something remarkably similar in a famous scientific experiment. In 1959, Soviet geneticist Dmitry Belyaev launched an ambitious project in Siberia using silver foxes. His goal was to understand exactly how domestication begins. The experiment followed one surprisingly simple rule. In every generation, Only the friendliest and least aggressive foxes were allowed to reproduce. There was no special training, no tricks, and no human bonding exercises. Generation after generation, only the calmest animals passed on their genes. Within just a few decades, those foxes began displaying behaviors almost identical to domestic dogs. They wagged their tails, sought human attention, licked researchers' hands, and eagerly approached people instead of avoiding them. Then, something completely unexpected happened. Their appearance began changing as well. Their ears became floppy, their snouts grew shorter, white patches appeared in their fur, and their tails naturally curled. None of those physical traits had been intentionally selected. They appeared automatically as a side effect of breeding for a gentle personality. The earliest proto-dogs likely went through a very similar transformation, gradually becoming smaller, softer-looking, and far less intimidating than the wolves they descended from. At that stage, they weren't household pets yet, but they were no longer completely wild animals either. Humans quickly realized that having these calmer wolves nearby came with enormous advantages. A wolf standing watch outside a campsite could hear danger long before any person noticed it. Its sense of smell could detect predators from incredible distances, often long before they became visible. If a bear wandered too close, the animal would react immediately, giving people valuable time to prepare. If unfamiliar humans were approaching, the wolves usually sensed their presence first. When prey animals were nearby, they could also help hunters locate and track them more efficiently. In many ways, a tolerant wolf living near a campfire became an early warning system that never slept. That explains why dogs became humanity's very first domesticated animal. They were living alongside people long before sheep, goats, cattle, or even agriculture itself existed. This partnership began during the Paleolithic era, while humans were still hunting mammoths across frozen landscapes. Thousands of years later, when farming replaced the hunter-gatherer lifestyle, dogs adapted once again. As human diets became increasingly rich in grains and starchy foods, dogs gradually evolved the ability to digest those same foods far more efficiently than wolves ever could. Their digestive systems changed genetically because staying close to humans offered a tremendous survival advantage. Think about what that really means. Dogs have spent so much time alongside us that they literally evolved to eat the same foods we do. The relationship didn't stop changing there. It also transformed the way both species interacted emotionally. When a person looks directly into a dog's eyes, both the human and the dog release oxytocin. That's the same hormone responsible for creating the powerful bond between parents and their newborn children. Wild wolves don't experience that same biological response when making eye contact with humans. Dogs do. That connection wasn't created by accident. Over countless generations, natural selection favored the animals that formed stronger emotional bonds with people because those animals received more food, more protection, and better care. Even a dog's facial muscles evolved over time. The muscles that create those irresistible puppy dog eyes are far more developed in domestic dogs than they are in wolves. That expression survived because for thousands of years, it successfully encouraged humans to nurture and protect them. Some researchers believe dogs did far more than simply keep humans company. Communities that lived alongside dogs likely hunted more successfully, spotted danger sooner, and protected their camps far better than groups without them. If that's true, the people who partnered with dogs may have spread across the world faster than those who never formed that relationship. In a way, Dogs may have helped humans conquer the planet, but domestication also came with a cost. Over thousands of years, dogs gradually lost many of the traits that once made them exceptional wild wolves. Selective breeding created hundreds of modern breeds, but it also introduced countless health problems. Some breeds struggle to breathe because of their shortened faces. Others frequently suffer from spinal disorders that severely affect their quality of life. Certain bulldogs can't even give birth naturally without veterinary assistance. Even so, the wolf has never completely disappeared. Many of its ancient instincts still survive beneath the surface. When your dog walks in circles before lying down, it may be following an instinct that once helped its ancestors flatten grass or snow before resting. When it buries food for later, lifts its head to howl, or starts running in its sleep, those behaviors are echoes from a distant past. Inside every Chihuahua, Golden Retriever, German Shepherd, and Husky still lives a small piece of an Ice Age predator. Archaeologists uncovered remarkable evidence of this bond in a 14,000-year-old burial site in Bonn, Germany. Inside the grave rested an elderly man, a woman, and a dog that had been carefully buried beside them. Researchers discovered that the dog had survived a serious illness while it was still a puppy. That survival would have been impossible without weeks, or perhaps even months, of dedicated human care. Think about what that meant during the Ice Age. People living in one of the harshest environments imaginable willingly spent valuable food, precious time, and limited energy caring for a sick animal. At that point, the relationship had become something much deeper than simple usefulness. It had become genuine emotional attachment. There was never a single moment when humans consciously decided to domesticate wolves. Instead, the process unfolded naturally, beginning with leftover food beside ancient campfires, cautious wolves approaching little by little, and thousands of years of evolution, slowly transforming fear into one of the strongest partnerships in history. Tonight, your dog will probably curl up somewhere close to you. It has no idea why it feels safest there. Until now, neither did you.